Brought to you by Refi. Refinance your defaulted private student loans today at yrefi.com/Ramsey.
Today's question comes from Steve in Indiana. Would your snowball plan help get America out of $36 trillion of debt? And how would you budget it? I wish Trump had you on the Doge team.
Yeah, no, I don't fit in with people that do stuff. No, I don't fit in anything in D.C. It is kind of fun to watch them take a machete to the ridiculous spending. And you don't have to be of any political ilk to think that, machetes to the ridiculous spending are necessary. This is out of control. For sure. I mean, it's a funny question, but the truth is that running a government of any size, the state of Tennessee, for instance, the last several governors I've been friends with, and it's a different endeavor to run something like that than to run a business or run your personal account. The principle of being debt-free still stands, and it's a good principle, and the principle of living on less than you make still stands, and the principle of good management or good frugality still stands. So, I mean, I can give you an opinion, but it's probably worth exactly what you paid for it. I observed under, for instance, Bill Clinton was the last president that had a balanced budget, that we actually did not run. He did it. Some say that he did some of that off of, the tax code that was in place at that point was put in place by Reagan. And so the lowered taxes, the Laffer curve, Art Laffer famous for.
Was the Reagan stuff all the way through? Wasn't Bush one and then Clinton?
Yeah. But it was. But it was H, was running the same camp. It was running the same deal, except he raised taxes on one thing. Yeah. And that got him baked. But anyway, politically. But the point being that there's really good evidence that the Laffer curve is true. Art Laffer is known for the theory of, to a certain degree, as you lower taxes, the economy heats up because the people that are making money are putting money back into their businesses, and they make yet more money and they pay yet more taxes, even though the rate is lower. Now, there's a point of diminishing returns on the curve. It is a curve. It's not a straight line. But if you lower taxes, it heats up the economy and you end up collecting more revenue. So if you want to increase the federal government's income from taxes, income tax, then you would, oddly enough, lower taxes. It seems oxymoronic, but it actually does work. And so as the tax, so if you want to get out of debt, one of the things we tell you to do is get an extra job, right? Increase your income to get out of debt. So that would be part of the equation. Mm-hmm. Let's increase the income of the United States of America by increasing the revenues produced by the tax system by, oddly enough, lowering the tax rates to cause that to happen and stimulate the economy. And that does work. And people that have studied John Maynard Keynes and are socialists, which John Maynard Keynes was a socialist, Keynesian economics are taught in almost every economics class in professor land out there. But I'm not a believer. I'm an Adam Smith guy. I'm a free market guy, and I really do understand this stuff. So anyway, all that to say, you would increase the income, and then, of course, you would do what Doge is doing. You cut the snot out of the expenses. Mm-hmm. So if you could ever get it right side up, where there was more income than outgo. In other words, there is no deficit. Yeah. Not only is there because deficit means you're going in the hole every month. And if you got to turn that to get out of debt. Right. And then could you start to pay off the debt? Absolutely you could. And what's weird is the way that stuff works on a governmental level, it would happen. It would be really quick. Because of the way the thing would feed on itself. Because the other thing that's tied into this is there's what's called monetary policy, meaning that when the government takes $1 trillion out of the economy by borrowing it, by issuing bonds to cover the deficit, that $1 trillion is not out there running around in the economy to stimulate the economy. So when the government runs debt, it sucks the bone marrow out of the economy because it drops currency down. The amount of money that's moving around is shortened considerably. And when you start putting all that back, or when you just stop sucking the bone marrow out, and then on top of that, you start putting some back into the economy, the thing could really heat up, and the revenues could go through the roof. It could be rowdy. And so that's one set of theories that gets you there. But this is the first time in my lifetime that I've seen anyone that had the political didn't give a crap. Mm-hmm. The political don't give a crap in order to just walk in there with an axe and a machete and just start chopping down everything in sight. And it's I didn't know if I'd ever see it. It truly had to be somebody that didn't care. Because he can't,
so offensive.
Because he can't be elected. He can't be elected again. So if you don't like it, screw you. And it's like it had to be somebody doing that, because if anybody cares about being reelected, then every little person you piss off by cutting one of these programs is a voter, and you start worrying about being reelected or not. Mm-hmm. But when you truly reach the point of I don't give a crap, and apparently that's where this bunch is. I mean, it's interesting to watch. And by the way, that's also the thing that happens with individuals. You guys out there, when you guys get out of debt, you reach a point you don't care what your broke brother-in-law's opinion is about what you drive, because he ain't paying the payments anyway. And he doesn't get a vote. And so you're going to go do radical stuff to get your life back and get out of debt. And there is some correlation to this.
Sure.
And it's interesting. It's an interesting discussion. Sure has got people 44 days. 44 days he's been in office. It's wild. It's just wild. It's entertaining as
longest
crap.
State of the Union ever last night.
Why Refi refinances delinquent private student loans for struggling borrowers. Learn more at yrefy.com/Ramsey.